mom who demanded my boyfriend give up his seat on his own birthday dinner, buy user kiss and quiche. So my 22F boyfriend turned 23 last weekend, and we went to this small Italian place that's first come first serve. It's one of those cozy spots where the tables are way too close together, so you can basically hear every conversation around you. Anyway, we finally get a table after waiting 30 minutes, order a bottle of wine, and this family walks in: mom, dad, 2 kids, and a teenage boy who looks like he'd rather be anywhere else. The hostess tells them it'll be a 25-minute wait. The mom immediately starts complaining that her kids are hungry, that it is ridiculous people are taking up big tables when they're just couples. Guess who she points at? Yep, us. She comes over, leans on our table, and goes, "You two don't mind moving so my family can sit, right? You can wait a bit longer, you're young." I literally thought she was joking. My boyfriend laughed awkwardly and said, actually it is my birthday." She goes, "Then you should be gentleman enough to offer your seat to a mother with hungry children." The waitress stepped in and told her she can't ask people to give up tables. The mom rolled her eyes, huffed off, and whispered loud enough for us to hear, "People these days have no respect." Her husband looked mortified. The rest of the night she kept glaring over like we'd personally ruined her evening. So yeah. Happy birthday, babe, here as a free side of audacity. My mom used my credit card just once and now I am dealing with the fallout by user no surprise 3,737. A 24F moved out of my parents' house last year and finally started managing my own money. Got a decent job, started using a credit card after building credit score with Fizz card, and was finally at some good financial numbers. A few months ago, I went home for a weekend visit. While I was there, my mom asked if she could borrow my card to buy something online since I was acting up. I hesitated, but she promised it was just for one small purchase and she'd Venmo me right away. It was like $60, so I didn't think much of it. Fast forward 2 weeks, I am checking my account and see multiple charges from random sites I've never heard of. $30 here, $50 there, a $200 order from Target. My mom admitted she accidentally saved my card info on her browser and used it a few times because she forgot which card was which. I asked her to stop and told her I'd dispute the charges. She got defensive and said I was overreacting and acting like she is a stranger. I told her it is about responsibility. She told me I've changed since moving out and that money shouldn't come between family. Now I am stuck cleaning up the mess. My score dipped because of the increased utilization, and I had to file disputes for a few charges she didn't remember. She still hasn't paid me back. I love my mom, but this crossed a line. I worked really hard to build decent credit, and now I feel stupid for letting this happen. Entitled dad yelled at me for not immediately returning his kid's soccer ball that keeps landing in my yard by user Nacho Data Free. I rent a small house with a fenced backyard. I work from home, so I am usually around during the day. For the past few months though, it feels like I've been living next to a one-kid soccer academy run by pure chaos. My neighbor's kid around 10 constantly kicks his soccer ball over my fence. Multiple times a day. At first, I didn't care kids play, accidents happen. I just toss it back. But then it started happening every single day. Sometimes before 8 a.m., sometimes while I am at work calls. Once the ball even hit my patio chair while I was sitting outside. So I stopped throwing it back immediately. I figured maybe if it took a while, the kid would learn to control his kicks. Apparently that was the wrong move. Now every time it happens, the dad comes to my door like clockwork, knocking like a debt collector and demanding, "Can you throw the ball back?" No hello, no apology, just attitude. Like it is my fault this kid can aim. Last weekend, it escalated. I was outside gardening when the ball came flying over again and smacked into one of my plants. I didn't throw it back right away, and a few minutes later, the dad storms out yelling over the fence. "You can just keep my kid's property, that is stealing." I told him, "Then keep your kid's property out of my yard." This man turned red. Full on furious. He started ranting about how I am a terrible neighbor and unfriendly to children. He even threatened to call the police over a $10 soccer ball. I said, "Go ahead, I'll show them the 5 other times this week your kid's ball hit my yard." He stomped off muttering something about respect. So now I have 2 soccer balls sitting by my shed, and if one more flies over, my dog is getting a new chew toy. Entitled Mom has a Jewish baby baptized in a Catholic church. Forgive the formatting and any spelling mistakes. I am on my phone and typing in a hurry. My dad's side practices the Catholic faith. Some relatives are intense about it, others more mellow. Sadly, Auntie Karen is a strict Catholic. Lacey, my cousin, got married 2 years to a guy named Mick. Mick was from a Jewish family, and Lacey decided to convert to his faith to marry him. Her parents fought her every step of the way and tried to convince the family to boycott our wedding. Sadly, most listened, mostly the aunts and uncles and older cousins. I went along with the uncles who supported them and a few cousins. After their son was born, Karen, who somehow wormed her way back into their lives, insisted on baptizing their son at a Catholic church. She threw a damn fit when they told her they were raising him as Jewish. Even has a bris for him. Lacey nearly cut her mother out, but Karen reluctantly agreed to it. Except Lacey put her on blast because Karen went behind their back to have the baby baptized. I have zero clue how she convinced a priest to do it, but Mick was driving home and saw Karen holding his son in a white gown leaving the church. He pulled right over and found she went behind her back. Karen, and anyone that supported her, was cut off completely. Aunt Karen isn't too bothered by it. They may hate me for it, but at least my grandson isn't going to hell, she told People. Things like this makes me wish I was into Walmart because I got a lot of spray cans and her house is white and begging to be tagged. Random entitled mom demands I date her son by user Shima in 2025. So I thought if we'll try to keep this short, but sorry if I don't articulate myself well as I'm still kinda confused by all that just happened. Okay, so I'm Indian American, but I'm currently in England with my dad 63 and sister 2012 for my cousin's wedding. My dad is Indian, but my mom 53 is white. This part will be important later. A couple days ago, me, my dad and his friend were at a supermarket and I found myself chatting with this British Indian guy. Like, it wasn't romantic or flirtatious or anything, we were literally just talking about cucumbers and buns. We then went our separate ways to do our own thing. However, a couple minutes later, this middle-aged Indian woman tapped on my shoulder, pointed at me and looked at her son, the guy I was talking to a while ago, and asked him, "Is this the girl you were talking to? Why didn't you ask her out?" I was like, "Excuse me," as I asked, confused. While not really addressing me, she told her son something like, "This is the type of girl you should be dating, not the African girl." I was stunned by her really blatant racism as the guy then came up to me and apologized for his mom's behavior. He then started explaining that he's dealing with some family drama right now where his parents don't approve of with the girl he's dating. I was just unfortunately dragged into it after his mom saw him talking to me earlier. The mom then turned to me and asked me if I was seeing anyone. I mean, I am single, but rather than tell her that, I lied and just told her that I have a boyfriend, so I assured her a photo of myself with a friend from high school who I'll call Zach. I told her Zach is my BF. The guy's mom then told me, "You shouldn't be with him. He's white and us Asians should not be marrying outside our own culture, our own people." I then pointed out to her that my mom is white, I'm not Hindu, and I don't even live here in Britain as an American. Her son was just standing there embarrassed. Note that in Britain, people of Indian origin are called Asian. In hindsight, I should have probably told her I'm Pakistani or a lesbian right from the get-go, as that may have made her back off instantly. Anyway, I then tried walking away, but I felt her grab my scarf, so I yanked my scarf, which apparently caused her to fall over, crashing into this pile of onions, knocking them over. I turned to the guy, and a random staff member who saw everything said sorry, then walked off. Dad then showed up, asked what the commotion was about, and as I was about to explain to him and another staff member what happened. However, before I could, the woman got back up, saw I was talking to my dad, and she started ranting off to him, telling him I was being disrespectful and complaining that I wouldn't give her son a chance. I then explained the situation to my dad and the store manager, and my dad just started laughing as he found the whole thing hilarious. He then called over his friend, pointed at the woman, explained to him what happened, and they then started laughing at her. I personally don't really see how this was funny, but them laughing about it just angered the woman even more. Anyway, the man just said he doesn't blame me for anything. Dad and I quickly paid for whatever we needed to get and left as fast as we can.